this is a Contax T2, a high-end film camera made in the 1990s. That means it's 32 years old and it's an absolute beast at what it does. You might remember this camera from that one time Kendall Jenner went on Jimmy Fallon, brought it out.
You brought your camera?
Yes, I did.
And photographed him on set. I think that's part of the reason why people love to hate this camera so much. In 2008, it was being sold online for around $300. But right now, partly thanks to Kendall Jenner and thanks to the rise in popularity of film photography, you cannot find it anywhere for less than $1,000. I'll tell you what though, it's worth it because the images that come out of this thing are absolutely unparalleled for its size and its build. Look at this. It's so small, it's a point and shoot. So good. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about the stats of this camera. Okay, so it's a Karl Zeiss multi-coated sonar lens at 38mm, and the lowest aperture it goes to is 2.8. Literally, this thing takes point and shoot to the next level. All you gotta do is set your aperture with the spinny dial thing, and every single situation, every single scenario, it's nailing that shot for you. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna take this thing out, looking for tiny little hints of spring. It's the 22nd of March today. Find some flowers, some beautiful trees, and I'll show you the power of this absolute beast. Let's get it popping. Look at this, and I thought I was gonna have a problem finding spring. And it's only the 21st of March. March has been incredibly kind to us here in London. The sun is out, the birds are chirping, and people are smiling more, which is nice for me because I love a little bit of street photography. Bless you. Bless you. These are always the kind of compositions I'm looking for. For some reason, vintage cars go so well with film. This is like such a clean composition. Gotta take a photo of this. There's something also just magical about London that makes it the best testing ground for this camera as well. The energy literally just leaps off the film, especially during dusk. Like, look at this. Hello, sorry, excuse me. Can I take a photograph? Is that fine? Thank you. I wish I could show you, but it's film.
Oh, man.
What's your name?
My name is Romy.
Sorry?
Romy.
Romy Karl.
Karl.
Nice to meet you. Cheers. Okay, so you've heard me rant and rave about how good this camera is, how insane it is. Now it's time for me to complain. First things first, film switching. Anytime it's time for me to change out a roll of film, it is an anxiety-inducing process, a process that I absolutely hate. God damn it. Sometimes, even after I've shot an entire roll of film, every single roll of film is still out in this chamber right here. And in case you don't know, if I expose that to sunlight, every single photo that I've taken is completely ruined. So I just finished a roll of film. Opening it was very tense because if it hasn't been shot, I have to find a way to open it and see if it's in there without letting light in there. And if it's not in there, I have to somehow with gloves shove the whole film back inside the canister so that at least I can preserve some of the photos. So that's one of my biggest gripes. Okay, so I often go back and forth deciding whether this is a upside or a downside, but the process of film photography, this doesn't have to do with the Contax T2, but film photography is a very slow process. I really want to share my love for this camera and my love for film photography. I want to edit this video tonight and get it up tomorrow, but because all the film spots are closed, I can't do so. I have to wait till 1 day, 2 business days, and just delay that gratification until I see the images. Now, if that's for personal photography, if you're saving it for yourself, then it's a good side because looking back through the images is almost a very therapeutic, memory awakening experience. However, if you're trying to do anything paid or do anything on a timely manner, it becomes very, very difficult. Is it a downside or is it an upside? You tell me. Okay, so that's enough about film photography philosophy. Let's get back to the weird quirks about the Contax T2. Okay, so as I mentioned before, if you wanted to change the aperture, you have to adjust the spinny dial here on the front of the camera. However, the f2.8 mode is actually an auto aperture mode, which means that if you wanted to, shoot in a very shallow depth of field, you're restricted to f4. To get f2.8, you have to be shooting in very low light conditions, which is not a downside. It's just something that you need to note if you want to get this camera. That's also honestly one of the most beautiful parts about shooting film is that despite the fact that you're hunting down compositions and you're being patient, waiting for different comps here and there, you're never sure that you got the shot. You cannot review the shot. So there's no chimping, there's no take a photo, look at the back, take a photo, look at the back. You can never know if you got the shot until you get the film developed. It's kind of like delaying the gratification, and that's kind of why I like it, because it just makes me focus on the composition. Just focus on the moment. As it goes by, so do you. You just move on to other things. That is nice. That right there is nice. Looks like we have some subjects approaching. Maybe I got it, maybe I didn't. All in all, the camera has some very unique qualities. The ergonomics and in-hand design is a little different, but after using it for some time, I got used to its rectangular form factor. I definitely intend to make the Contax T2 an even more essential aspect of my workflow moving forward. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next adventure. Peace.